Hey, this is Lex, and welcome to another episode of Lipstick and Liberation, a podcast from the perspective of a 40-year-old Black feminist who is navigating her way through the world and talking to you about the things that she has experienced and seen in the news, social media, current events, anything that comes to mind. I want to thank you guys so much for coming back. This week has been so heavy. It's just been really hard for me to even find the words to talk about the things I want to talk about this week. So I'm hoping I'm able to do it. This week's lipstick shade is Maybelline Superstay. It is shade number 175, Ringleader. So as I always say, as with my lipstick and so with misogyny, I always get the shade right. I want to take a moment to recognize survivors this week. Yet again, this has been a hard couple of weeks. I think we're seeing a Me Too movement backlash going on. And with that happening, we are seeing so many people show us that they never really believed women in the first place. And there's a lot of things that are going on that can be very discouraging, especially to women who are in domestic violence situations right now and trying to figure out how to navigate that. Just thinking that people aren't going to believe them or that people are going to blame them. And they have every right to think that, because that is what we as a society do. We look for perfect victims in a world that has very imperfect men, and that we allow those men to be imperfect. And so moving right into that, we're going to talk about the Diddy Trial, the verdict. He was convicted of 2 of the 5 counts. So most of them he got off on, and it was mostly a male jury. So I wasn't 100% totally surprised by that, but it made me glad that Cassie sued him civilly, because it's a stark reminder that we as women cannot depend on the justice system to help us when it comes to abuse with men. The justice system, and just men in general in society, it's filled with so many men who do things to harm women very casually, that they're going to protect the ones who do it at the highest level, because they don't want it to come back and trickle back down on them. One of the things that I heard so many men saying in a podcast space, especially about this case, was, oh, so if you fly your girl out, does that mean that's sex trafficking? Of course not. And you know that. But that's the thing, is that so many men have done things that they feel like are relatable to things that really abusive men have done. And that doesn't scare them for some reason. But it's true. They've done things that they feel like are similar to what Diddy did on a broker level, because Diddy has more money than them and more power than them. And they're constantly out here looking for ways to make sure that they protect the things that they did that they know were morally questionable, so that they can get away with them. And in doing that, because what do we say here? Men are in a pact together not to hold each other accountable. So when they're doing that, that means they're not going to sentence each other to any kind of serious time for hurting women, because hurting women, that's something men expect to be able to do with impunity. They are supposed to be able to do whatever they want to us, small or on a large scale, and not be punished, because there's always a justification in their mind. And it's so unfortunate, because even if Cassie had been a perfect victim, they still would have done that same thing. I saw so many men talking about, oh, she needs to be in jail with him. Like, she was 19. The same 19 that people try to, like when Chris Brown put his hands on Rihanna, he used that age to try to garner sympathy from people about him actually choosing to actively put his hands on a woman and harm her. He used that age. But then we use that same age with Cassie. We talk about her being drugged and sex trafficked. Like, we use that same age of 19, which Cassie was when she met him, and suddenly she's responsible for what she did. Matter of fact, she should serve jail time for hiring the prostitutes that were used to harm her, as if she had a choice. Oh, she left and she came back. That is a very powerful man, and she was very powerfully trauma bonded to him. It is not easy. Some of y'all still hanging out with your parents that abused you severely. Some of y'all are still kicking it with people who have done horrible things to you, and sitting up here judging Cassie for this. You have the exact same nature. That's the thing. Everybody says they could handle things, they would do things so perfectly. Why are you still hanging out with your mama after she kicked you through the back door then, if trauma bonding isn't real? Explain that to everyone. Is it true that your mom didn't beat on you and kick you through the back door? Your dad didn't do all that stuff just because you still go and see them and hang out with them and you still love them? Let's think about that, because you guys want perfect victims. You guys aren't even perfect victims yourselves. And none of it is about that. All of it is about trying to create a society that makes women not feel safe to speak up and say, a man did this to me. To make that doubt always there. Because if women don't have that power, if women don't have the power to be believed, men can do anything to them. And that's important to men. That's important to men to be able to continue to control the narrative of who women are and what women are capable of while they pretend that everything they did was a mistake or an accident or they deserve grace. Men don't ever have to be perfect. Men don't ever have to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. We're always supposed to find a way to forgive them. We're always supposed to find a way to understand why they did what they did, even when what they did was violent towards other people. So we're supposed to figure out how they got there. Men's Mental Health Month. We need to think about them. What are men going through? Why are men so lonely? But a woman gets abused, you don't have to think about why she would have done that. It's her fault. She should have left. She should have did this. She should have did that. We put so much more responsibility on women to be perfect and to make all the most perfect decisions, even when they're being hurt, than we do on men who have all this privilege in society and really have no reason to be doing the things that they are doing, except they have unhealed trauma that they don't want to deal with. So rather than hold them accountable for that unhealed trauma, we hold the women accountable who run into them while they have that unhealed trauma, all while we are backing up the idea that these men deserve a second chance, deserve a third chance. You tell people that all the time when their husband cheats. Oh, give him another chance, girl. That's just how men are. That's just how men are. And then when a man hurts you, when he hurts you, and you go and you tell somebody, this man hurt me, you're not perfect because you gave him that second chance. You gave him that third chance. You listened to somebody tell you that's how men are. You had compassion for him, and you paid with your compassion. And that's why we got to change what we're doing, ladies. That's why we got to change how we are moving out here in society, because it's becoming a survival issue for us. It's becoming a safety issue for us. Me Too was a step forward, and they have yanked us 10 steps back for that. They truly have. They're using our bodies as incubators even after we've passed away. They're trying to get rid of no-fault divorce. They're trying to show us that nobody's going to believe you, even with video evidence of a man putting his hands on you, trying to leave a scenario that he's forcing you to participate in. It's still your fault. What do you do? What do you do in that case? How do you survive? It's not relying on them and their opinion of you. You have to decenter it. You have to accept the fact that they're never going to see you as fully human, fully valuable, and fully worthy of protection. No matter what you do, no matter how you carry yourself, no matter how you dress, you are never going to be good enough for your word to be greater than the word of a man. We deserve more. We deserve better. We are the mothers. We deserve a society that's going to take care of us, protect us, understand us, believe us, do something when other men hurt us. And we don't have that. So I encourage you women, all you women out there who saw what happened, take a moment and try to understand why you even feel the need to defend this person. You shouldn't be defending him. He could do the same thing to you, and you could be imperfect, because we're all imperfect, truly. But he could do the same thing to you, and you could have the same outcome. I'm not going to try to change men's minds. That's for men to do. That's for other men to do. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, ladies. I'm asking you to step up and start being an ally. I'm asking you to hop out the comment sections and stop defending men when they're doing horrible things to women. I'm asking you to take a step back talking about bitter baby mamas and let the court sort that stuff out, and stop defending men who do things in secret and in silence to harm their children's mother in order to gain control over her. I'm asking you to take a step back and center women in a world that has centered men and put their word above us. What are you going to do? How are you going to be a better sister? How are you going to be a better woman to the people around you? Because I don't think that Cassie survives this without our support. I don't. I'm glad that she did have so much support. I'm glad she got her money. If you can get money from these people, get the money. Because like I said, the criminal justice system is never going to truly hold them accountable, because men holding each other accountable means men trying to hold themselves accountable. And we know how that goes. So it's not going to happen. Get what you need to get, heal, go to therapy, do what you need to do to move on. If you need to be 4B, if you need to be done with men for good so that you can have your emotional sanity, that's perfectly valid. Why would you want to be around people who your word isn't worth as much as theirs anyway? Think about that. Just truly think about that. It's your choice, your life, how you want to live it. But just understand that we have to be in this for each other. We're all fighting the same fight. And if we're not going to be in it for each other, we're battling patriarchy by ourselves then. Because you're going to have men that's doing this stuff, and then you're going to have women who are so desperate for the approval of men backing this stuff up. So where are you going to be? where are you going to land on this? I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I don't allow other people to come on my page and talk badly about domestic violence victims. I don't allow people to sit up and tell me that I need to support somebody who is domestically violent. I'm not going to give money to men who hurt other women because they have the entirety of society behind them. Why would I want to help them do something so heinous to someone that has less power than them? I never will. As soon as I find out a man is doing something horrible to women, my dollars are gone. Maybe that doesn't break him, but that is something that I can do. That is what I can do. If I'm not going to become a vigilante and dress up and start beating up all the deadbeat baby daddies, all the abusers, etc., which I can't do that. I don't have time. I'm trying to survive capitalism. And take note, if you see anybody celebrating Diddy's acquittal, they're garbage. They're a garbage person. There's nothing you can really say to me otherwise that'll make me feel that way. People have known that Diddy is a terrible person for decades. They've watched artists under him not prosper. He has gotten so rich off of everyone else's talent. Meanwhile, these people are going to prison for him, like Shine. They are winding up broke. You've had so many people come out and tell you over and over again, this is a terrible person. This is a horrible person. He treats people terribly. And for you to sit up and be celebrating that kind of person getting away with treating a woman terribly like that because they were in an intimate relationship, because that's the thing. Men really do think being in relationships with them brings down your value. They think that if you're in a relationship with them, they can do anything that they want to you, and it's your fault because you chose to be in a relationship with them. So the very fact, she's Diddy's artist too. He also has screwed her over on her career. But because she chose to engage in a relationship with him at a very young age when she was impressionable and he was very wealthy and powerful, they treat her like whatever he did to her, that was fair and square in a relationship. Pay attention to those kind of things. Pay attention to those kind of mindsets, that is how men think about those things. And anybody else you see celebrating that, celebrating a person they know is terrible. These people are just like Trump supporters. They're not different. In fact, you may find they overlap. They look at men and see them getting away with terrible things, and they love it because it gives them the idea that they can still get away with terrible things too. A lot of people aren't even trying to pretend like they're being decent anymore. They're not even trying to pretend like they want to be a good person. They're just out here hurting other people and celebrating other people getting away with hurting people too. It has become a society that is so sick as a culture that these people are happy to see other people hurting other people, people losing their Medicaid, people losing their houses, people losing their jobs. We are becoming that society more and more every day as a backlash to us trying to be better. The worst people came out and started saying, let's actually be absolutely our absolute worst selves. And that's where we're at. So if you see somebody celebrating this victory for Diddy of those 3 charges, because he's still going to jail, not for as much as he should be, but he's still going to jail. You see anybody celebrating that, they're a horrible person. Take note of that. That's not anybody you want to date. It's not anybody you want to marry. That's not anybody you want to have children with. They are a terrible person. There's no reason to celebrate somebody like him getting away with hurting one other person, several other people. No reason. And I want to pivot over to Nelly and Ashanti. Nelly and Ashanti's situation, I hope this reminds you ladies to negotiate what you want in marriage, but also find a man who will be flexible with you and be able to work with you if something doesn't go right in the negotiations. Because I know that she wanted to have a child, and so she agreed for some reason to get back with Nelly and have a child. I don't understand why she didn't go to the sperm bank. Please start making the sperm banking options, ladies. Please. You can just have a baby by yourself, because a lot of you are signing up to be married single mothers or single mothers anyway. Why have a man involved who can come back in and out of your life, create havoc, take you to court, those kinds of things, do things that can inconvenience you and your mental health. If you really just want a baby, then just have a baby. It's okay to do it alone because you're going to be doing it alone anyway in some cases. So it's all right. It's all right not to have kids. You are a fulfilled, complete human being as a woman, whether you choose to have children or not. Your existence matters already. You don't have to have children. Ashanti was living an amazing life on vacation, fabulous body, all over the country, all over the world, different countries, sailing out on a boat, in queen of vacations. That's what they was calling her in the blogs. And she gave that up And now she's married to Nelly. And he said, oh, I'm not going to talk to this kid till I'm 3 because he told her he was not changing diapers. And what's wild about that is, okay, let's say they did agree to that. The postpartum stage is one of the hardest experiences that a woman will have. Not only have you just given birth, so whatever happened to your body, whether you got stitches, you got tore up, you just snapped back, you know, you had a C-section, you're doing healing. So you are healing from probably surgery or your body just going through a major trauma. Then you don't know what your mood is going to be like because of your hormones. So much is going to change so quickly as your body shifts back from growing this baby into just taking care of you while also producing milk, while also healing, that you don't know what you're going to be capable of. So many of us, when we're pregnant, I've had one child, you know, we had an idea of what we're going to be able to do. Oh, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to get this amount of sleep. I'm going to clean up. I'm going to do this. Then when you got there, that's not what happened. It was no way for you to know what that experience was going to be like until you experienced it. So making plans and making deals with people about what you guys were going to do, that should be negotiable because you might find out you have postpartum depression. You might find out that your milk isn't good for the baby. They're allergic to the milk. So maybe you said I was going to breastfeed. Now you can't breastfeed. So you and your partner are going to have to bottle feed. Like, you need to be flexible in that time frame. You need to be with somebody who's going to be flexible with you when you are parenting because plans don't always go that way. So the fact that Nelly is sitting here hearing Ashanti saying she's struggling and she would like for him to get up and he's just like, no, I'm hiring nannies. Like, I don't want to talk to the kid till he's 3. This is showing such a lack of care for her as a person and a care for the infant, because if you're not doing what's best for the mom, that's going to impact the infant. That relationship is the most important relationship that an infant is going to have if it is the traditional mother-father role and the mother gave birth. That relationship is crucial. So if you're choosing not to help the mother out because you made a deal with her, then you're choosing not to give your child the most optimal outcome. And when I hear things like that, it's like men treat those things like accessories. Oh, you said you were going to do this. You said you were going to do that. Well, I can't. I can't do it, or I need help. I need you to step up. Why are you so focused on the deal that was made? Why aren't you focused on what your partner needs? What your partner needs, shouldn't that be important? Shouldn't it be important that your child's mother is struggling and she needs help and you can step up? And it is really sad that we have not raised and socialized men to look at it that way. And further, that we are procreating with men who are telling us, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to help you. Never be so desperate for a baby that you are procreating with somebody who has told you that they are going to make your life hard. Some of them are going to lie to you and tell you they're going to make your life super easy, and then surprise, surprise, they make it a living hell for you. So you can't really control that. You can do your best on that part. But if somebody's already telling you they're not going to support you, don't do it. The one thing I try to get on here every week and tell women is get good deals for yourself. We are socialized to take terrible deals from men. Terrible deals. Terrible. Get a good deal for yourself. If a man tells you I'm not going to help you, don't do it. Because you can find a man that will help you. Or you can go to the sperm bank and have a baby by yourself. Don't partner up with somebody who is intentional about not being a partner no matter what happens. You're not going to be happy. And I don't think Ashanti and Nelly are going to be happy in the long run. I mean, I knew that Nelly wasn't helping with the baby when he got caught with that ecstasy a couple weeks postpartum. Because how are you taking ecstasy with a crying newborn in the house? So it's a sad situation. Hopefully, he changes. Haha, just kidding. Men don't change. But it's a sad situation. I don't even know. I don't really have any hope for it. Ashanti will probably just, put her head down and just go through what she wants to go through because she wanted those things. Marriage and children as a status symbol. That's why I tell y'all every week that's not a status symbol. The greatest status symbol is being a happy woman. That's what society doesn't believe can exist without marriage and children. You can have that and be married and have children and be happy. But if you are offered bad deals, be happy by yourself. Be happy by yourself. There's nothing wrong with living the life that you want to live and being happy by yourself. That's revolutionary. That's a status symbol. There's a lot of women who are going to be in bad marriages looking to you like, she got it all. I got this over here, but she has it all because she's happy. Her hair's not falling out. She got time to go to the gym. She can get her nails done. She can hop on a flight. You can be that. You can be a fulfilled person without taking a bad deal and getting married and having a man's children that does not want to help you. And please don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Please don't let anybody tell you that you have to take this bad deal. Don't let anybody, he's a good man, Savannah, you into a bad deal. You deserve the world. You get one life. You deserve to have that life be whatever you want it to be and to not have to sacrifice it so that a man can get what he wants and you can look like you got what you want. That's your life. Your mother and father gave you that life. You don't have to split it up and cut it up and share it with somebody else or be halfway fulfilled. Whatever you want as a woman, go out and get it. Think about a life you would have without a man and children. Because you have a right to that. Think about that. Everybody's not getting married. Everybody's not having kids. That's okay. We're in the first generation where I think girls are not opining and desiring to be wives and mothers right away. That's okay. That's great. You deserve that. Don't sign up for it. Don't turn 40 like Ashanti and feel like you're unfulfilled. So now you got to go and spin the block with the guy who allegedly was borrowing money for you for his gambling debts. And now he's saying y'all gonna have a baby and you 40 and he's not gonna help you. Don't do it. You deserve better. As we close out this week, I want to thank you guys once again for coming back. If you would like, hit the subscription button. You can definitely write into me and talk to me. We do want to talk about these issues every week. I want to give you guys a little encouragement every week that you can have the life that you want, because we are living in very discouraging times as a woman. Every week we are turning on the news and something else is happening. And I don't want to wait for our rights to be over. Y'all need to get out there and enjoy your life. You need to get out there and prioritize yourself. You need to get out there and find something to do that's about you. Something once a week. I exercise. I take care of my skin. Those are the things that I do on my budget. I want you guys to find those things, healthy things that you can do so that you are ready. So you are ready to take on what we are all taking on. It's not going to get better. We're not living in a world that's going to get better towards women. We're not. We lost the Supreme Court. We lost the presidency. We've lost Congress. We're not. So we have to make the world as great as we can on the level we're at right now and get ready to fight back because they're coming for us. So be ready. Stay ready. Until next week.